Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you are new. Welcome back if you're not. And welcome home if that sits for you. As always, completely and totally dependent on where you happen to be in relation to these messages, this channel, this week, these energies, really. This is the weekly What's Up for the 10th of July through the 16th of July, 2023. Let's get right in. So we start the week with an Aries moon, conjunct Chiron at 51 minutes into Monday Central Time. Shortly after that, right in time for coffee, Mars moves into Virgo. And the moon is going to trine Venus, which is in Leo. Mercury in Cancer will oppose Pluto, retrograding in Capricorn right now. Pluto's going to really see a lot of action. So this is kind of a lead-in, overarching aspect for a good few days. It has some significance. We'll get there. Then the moon, still in Aries, of course, is going to square both Pluto and Mercury. A happy little T-square. The moon will move into Taurus about 6:55 p.m. on Monday evening. And then trine Mars. And at 11:11 p.m. Central Time on Monday, Mercury moves into Leo. Okay, so we're talking about efficiency versus impatience, right? Movement as it pertains to your health, to your routines, to your general well-being, making a concerted effort to be compassionate to yourself and to those around you. That's really kind of important, big time. So that Mercury opposed to Pluto, squaring the moon, right, that T-square, is going to create some unintended consequences if you are not precise and judicious with your expression. So take the opportunity to create life-changing routines today, right? We all have those days where we say, I'm going to XYZ. Today is a day where the energy really speaks to having that capacity, that capability, right? Those foundations. So if you've been saying, I really oughta, Monday, the 10th, is your day. Right, Tuesday, July 11th. The Taurus moon is going to sextile Saturn and conjunct Jupiter. So this is kind of that day where we're preloading the nodes squaring Pluto. That's going to be a really big overarching aspect, and I have some things to say. I'll probably do a whole video on that because it's really kind of important. But today Mercury gets involved in that and really kind of personalizes it, right? Asks you to kind of feel into the places and ways and arenas where you may be out of sync when it comes to yourself and your relationship balances. So pay attention, right, to the ways that you're structuring or not structuring, right, your life, your routine, your environment, your relationships, and wherever that expression is not a hell yeah, take note and remember that you are the amplifier. So always make sure that you're asking yourself, what is it that I am amplifying, right? And make it your business to know the answer. On Wednesday the 12th, right? This is the day that the nodes change signs. So this is a pretty big day to pay attention. we start the day with the Cancer Sun squaring Chiron. The Taurus moon will sextile the sun, will conjunct Uranus, will square Venus, and will sextile Neptune. The nodes change signs from Scorpio and Taurus into Aries and Libra at 4:53 p.m., squaring Pluto. So this is some heavy cardinal sign presence, right? So here's the deal. On Wednesday, mind your story. Do not dig in and be up for adjustments in any place that new information or perspective wants to shine its way in, right? If it feels hard or if it feels challenging to adjust, lean into that sense of home, right? And what I mean when I say that is what home feels like for you, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it sounds like, what it looks like. All of those things, your answers and your answers alone matter, right? It's your experience. It's your expression. It's your expectation. No one else can create that for you. No one else can discern it for you. Only you can come up with that sense of home. So allow that sensory experience of home to lead you, right? That clarity is available. Make sure that you are looking. Make sure that you are listening. Make sure that you're tasting for it, feeling for it, right? Be involved in where you're in alignment or out of alignment with that. Just be in exploration. Be in presence. Pay attention. On Thursday, the 13th of July, that Taurus moon is going to trine Pluto very early in the morning, and then the moon moves into Gemini, 2:26 a.m. Super early, right? Then that the Japanese moon, the Gemini moon, is going to square Mars, is going to sextile Mercury, and will square Saturn. So here's the deal. This is a day that can feel a little staticky, right? A little challenging, a little like seismic, pressure-y kind of day. So all of those possibilities are open, right, with that Gemini energy. And you may see and feel no reason to hold back on something, or on a situation, or with a person, or with a thing. Here's the thing. There's a big old T-square, Saturn and Mars, right, both squaring the moon. And here's the deal. That may have you sitting on, I saw you. I did. King of Wands. Thank you. That might have you sitting on an awareness of a tradition, right? One of those things where you say, well, we've always done it this way. This is just how things are. This is what I was told. This is what I've always understood. But the thing is, you might come into awareness specifically around this time of a new way, a different way, a better way, right? The question is, what will you choose? And the answer completely hinges on your willingness. Hello. Ooh, how exciting. The answer completely hinges on your willingness to be in witness to your whys, right? Do you have the courage and presence and awareness to self-explore and self-examine that why, to say, I don't really know why we've always done it this way, or I don't know why I do this thing in this way every single time, but I see that you're doing it in a different way. Maybe that's better for me, right? So the key is to breathe, right? Breathe, perhaps wait. And if that waiting, if you can't discern your own definite hell yes answer, wait, right? Just wait. Just allow it to show itself and don't push it. On Friday, the 14th of July, Mercury in Leo quincunxes Saturn. That Gemini moon will sextile Chiron, and the Cancer sun will sextile Uranus. So here's the deal. That hesitation that you felt yesterday will either yield a dividend today in one way or another, right? Perhaps it is a positive yield that is vindication, right? Or clarity as you slip into that new healed story. Perhaps it's a negative vindication or dividend, right? Which feels like or shows up as that hitch in your get along, right? And so things may feel as though they're moving too fast. Either way, stop, breathe, assess what you're feeling, assess what's going on, assess the experience itself, and allow yourself to be in shift, right? Or to be in gratitude, and ideally to be in both. On Saturday, the 15th of July, that Gemini moon is going to sextile Venus, will square Neptune, will quincunx Pluto, and then at 12:13 p.m. Central Time, we'll move into Cancer. Not long after that, Venus in Leo will quincunx Neptune, right, her higher octave, and the Cancer moon will sextile Mars. Right, so that moon is going to kind of tweak Pluto and the nodes today. It's going to open up a possibility. So you get to choose, right? Whether or not you're going to kind of pick and pull at things, or whether you're going to see the brightness of that next right thing, right? You can start picking things apart and become hypercritical in the minutia, or you can really witness the broad spectrum, like the big picture, and choose to move accordingly, right? Resist any urge you may have to close off or to shut down, and really feel into that into that Venus challenging Neptune aspect, right? So you have that sense of home, right? We've been talking about it this week, and you have that clarity, right? So really feel it. Feel what it feels like in your body, right? Choose your vulnerability and let your sensual experience and your 3D signals lead your way. So let your body follow its own cueing, right? You know what that is. Be in touch. Be in touch with your heart and your gut and your root today, and really feel where you're being led, right? And on Sunday, the 16th of July, that Cancer moon is going to trine Saturn and sextile Jupiter. So stable emotions start with stable you, right? So do something that feels maybe even a little bit indulgent on Sunday, whether it's a thing that's big or small, whether it's something that feels like it might be in or out, whether it's alone or together with someone else, right? Whatever that is, take very deep stock of how that feels, and then drop a pin into the lushness, right, of that safety, and let it serve as your signpost. Let it serve as a reminder to you. Just really cement that experience. Find a way to do that, regardless of what you choose, your kind of methodology, right? Whether you choose a feeling, a smell, a sight, a totem, whatever that is, create it for yourself so that you can reference it, right? Sometimes we need a way to get back to that ineffable kind of feeling. So just Make the place for yourself. All right, let's get on this. Monday the 10th, right? All right, we have the 9 of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So the 9 of Pentacles is a card of self-sufficiency, right? This is, I can do this. And the Queen of Swords, of course, is that feminine energy as she relates to your experiencing an expression of truth. So we talked about this as a day of efficiency versus impatience, right? Moving as it pertains to your health and routines. Absolutely, you've got this, right? If you can cut out the bullshit. But make sure that you're choosing that compassionate pathway, right? 9 of Pentacles is that I've got this, right? I am fully resourced. I can manage whatever comes my way. But it's also being asked to lead with compassion, right? We want to make sure that we're not incurring those unintended consequences if we get a little overbearing, right? So again, we're talking about a day that we can create life-changing routines. If you're really interested in becoming self-sufficient, this is a beautiful energy to cut through your own bullshit and create the way that you do that for yourself over and over again, right? Self-commitment. That's really what self-sufficiency is. On Tuesday, we've got the Magician and the King of Wands. This is lovely energy, absolutely lovely energy. On a day that we're going to pay attention to the way that we're structuring our routines, right? The King of Wands, the master of dedication, devotion, passion, right? Why we are in the expression of our fuck yes. And what are we amplifying, right? How am I moving through the world? What am I manifesting? What am I creating? Feel into all those ways and places where you're not in sync and allow that to be noted, right? Because you have the capacity to shift your manifestation, and you also have the awareness of where you need to shift and why, right? This is the card of why. This is the card of leading with your heart. And if you're not doing that, none of your manifestations will amount to a doggone thing, right? On Wednesday the 12th, we've got the Lovers and the Devil. Listen, this is the day the nodes switch signs, right? Come on. We are talking about the nodes shifting signs into Aries and Libra. Of course, we have the Lovers, divine question, divine balance, divine relationship. We also have the Devil, right, which is attached lovers, right? We're witnessing this in the 3D. We're witnessing this in the divine realm. So mind your story, right? Don't dig in. Be up for those adjustments. We talked about this, right? Anywhere it feels hard or challenging, lead into that sense of home, right? Let your sensory experience lead, but you're not bound by that sensory experience. And here's the thing. The Lovers is a divinely blessed union. If you try to maintain a divinely blessed union, holding on to 3D rules, right? Only living in the tangible here, now, that divinity is lost, right? You have the key, right? This is lock and key business. This is the highest choices. And so how are you choosing to adjust your story? How are you choosing to witness that beautiful interplay of the full spectrum of me, myself, and I, we, us, ours, right? Because all of those are the same thing. There's no difference. And that's the way that you shift that perspective, right? How am I adjusting? Where am I going to find that sense of home? You find the sense of home in your soul, in your spirit, not in the 3D. On Thursday, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the World. How lovely. So we talked about this as a day where it might be a little staticky, right? Where we're witnessing all of our possibilities, where we're really trying to find out if we're stuck in our old traditions or if we're going to allow that to shift and change and move into something new, right? So the Knight of Pentacles, slowest knight in the deck, very earthy, very grounded, lots of stamina, lots of endurance, lots of reliance on those traditions, lots of reliance on method, right? This is how we do it. This is how we've always do it. This is how it goes. The World says, let's wrap that up, right? let's wrap that story up and see what comes next, right? And again, we're talking about finding the awareness of those new and better ways and asking yourself, is this the best way? Might there be a different way? Breathing, honoring the wait, if it's not a hell yes. Honoring the wait and understanding that you have the staying power to wait for that next right thing, right? Ta-da! On Friday, we have the 3 of Cups and the 7 of Pentacles. So 3 of Cups, this is always an exciting card. This is the card of shared celebration, right? This is union at the heart, right? 3 is always a collaborative energy. And cups are all about emotions. So this is how we share our emotional state with others, which is beautiful given what we're being asked to witness this week. And then the 7 of Pentacles, this is a card of seeds being sown, and then we wait, right? We have the patience to wait for that next right thing. So this is about that hesitation yielding today a dividend, whether or not that's clarity, right, as we slip into that new shared story, or whether we choose to wait. Either way, we're going to shift and be in gratitude, right? Gratitude for what we have or gratitude for what is coming, right? Either way, ideally, again, both, right? We have that patience because we know what's coming next, because we're calling it in, right? We're manifesting it. All right, we've got the Knight of Swords and the Sun. This is just plain old lovely energy here. The Knight of Swords, right? Knights are all about the way we're moving through the world, and swords are about our ideas, our beliefs, our communications, the way we're expressing things, right? And so we have that Gemini moon for a good half of the day, and then we have the Sun, right? The brightest card in the deck, flying our flag, allowing all of those beautiful, blissful things to come our way. And here's the thing. The Knight of Swords says, I'm not going to impale myself on my ideas. I'm going to move forward with them, right? So this was that day where the moon kind of touches on the nodes, opening possibilities, right? Choosing to pick them apart or choosing to look at the brightness of that next right thing and move, right? Knights are all about motion. Move accordingly, resisting the urge to close off, right? Resisting the urge to shut out. And this here is about our mental capacity, our expressive capability, right? This is about feeling into our body, right? So we're going to feel into our body, into our whole experience, and choose the vulnerability and openness of our sensual experience, right? And let that lead our way, right? Follow the cues of our body, not our mind. And on Sunday, we have the 5 of Wands and the 3 of Wands. Interesting, right? So the 5 of Wands is a card of posturing, right? This is a card of, it's like a blocking card, right? And then the 3 says, oh, wait, I already know what I've called in. Now I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to stand here and wait for it. And the 5 says, we might block that, right? Maybe I'm going to, just for the sake of being right, for the sake of asserting my own dominance or correctness, I'm just going to block that. So you have a choice today, right? We talked about stable emotions start with stable you. So we're going to choose that indulgence today. We're going to choose that long-term opportunity thinking, that vision, that indulgence, right? And however that shows up for you, take stock of how it feels. And then we're going to put a pin in it and let that call that next right thing to us. And we're not going to block it. This is why we're creating that totem, that reminder, that signpost, so that as we go through these next several months of this Pluto squaring the nodes, right? Of this next several months of shifts, retrogrades, changes, that we have that thing to come back to, right? That open-hearted choice, that passion, that why. I love that we have keep breathing this week, because that's really what we're being asked to do, right? Just ride those waves. Find that place in your breath and body that will take you through and as that next level, right? This is how we choose to communicate and express our motives at depth, right? This is how we work through these big transformations that we're going to be called to witness, right? This is how we're going to move through the labors of creating our structures, and really witnessing through our own expansions, and our fullest expression, right? So we have this glorious dancing on one foot balancing act, right? I love it that we have this. Let's see what it has to say, right? It's a 9 card, and so we know that 9 is a card of learning, right? This is a card of how we come into fullness with a lesson. So this is balancing act, resourcefulness, saying yes to life, right? That's beautiful. When dance is on one foot shows up, you are called to find a new balance. Just as a dancer moves gracefully into each pose, no matter how precariously balanced a step might seem, you must bring equanimity to the situation before you, no matter how thorny or difficult a relationship seems. If you're putting too much effort into managing your life, work, relationships, family, and digital media, you are missing the point. You have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that at any one time, half of it is going to be up in the air, right? I love that. It's not that you're doing too much and find it impossible to catch up. Rather, it's that you're confusing readiness with preparation. You will never, ever be fully prepared for all of the challenges in your life, but you can be ready to say yes to a new invitation the universe offers you. Live in a state of yes to spirit and no to anything not infused with life, romance, vitality, and the sacred. You'll be surprised by how quickly your load lightens when you hold true to this lesson. You're challenged now to work with the resources available to you and not be seduced by the belief, if only I had more. Life has provided you everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. When it feels like you're losing your balance, do not contract. Hold your arms close to your chest, for then you will fall. Instead, reach out and extend them fully, saying yes to Spirit's steadying hand. Right? We talked about all of those things, right? We talked about how we're being asked to be in flow, right? How we have how we really need to identify our own sense of home, right? That hell yes is something that only you can choose. No one can choose that for you. And we also talked about not contracting, right? About always being in that state of allowing your experience, choosing your vulnerability, and allowing your body to be your signal, right? Being in flow, being graceful, and in that dance, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Woo. Yeah. This is a big week, guys. Keep breathing, for sure. Big blessings.